IMF warns of global debt crisis looming in 2025. A storm is brewing in the global economy, and the International Monetary Fund is sounding the alarm. In a recent statement, the IMF warned that the world is approaching a critical debt tipping point, with potential consequences that could shake financial markets and crush vulnerable economies. What's fueling this crisis? Who will be hit the hardest? And how close are we to another global recession? Let's break down everything you need to know. Chapter 1. The warning from the IMF. In July 2025, the IMF released a report highlighting that over 100 countries are now carrying debt levels considered unsustainable. Total global debt has reached a staggering $315 trillion, driven by pandemic-related stimulus packages, wars, rising interest rates, and growing economic inequality. Kristalina Georgieva, the IMF's managing director, stated, "Without urgent reforms, we risk triggering a debt domino effect that could paralyze global development and financial stability." Chapter 2. Which countries are at risk? According to the IMF, the most at-risk nations include low-income countries in Africa and Asia, who borrowed heavily to manage pandemic recovery. Emerging markets like Argentina, Pakistan, and Egypt, facing record-high inflation and currency depreciation. Even developed nations like the US, Italy, and Japan, which are now seeing debt-to-GDP ratios reach post-WEB2 levels. This crisis isn't just hitting the poor, it's a global issue. Chapter 3. What's causing this spike in debt? The debt buildup isn't random. Key causes include post-COVID stimulus. Trillions were pumped into economies. Russia-Ukraine war. Fuel and food prices soared. Interest rate hikes. Central banks raised rates to curb inflation, making debt repayments more expensive. Climate change spending. Billions allocated to green transitions. All of these stressors converged, pushing debt loads to historic highs. Chapter 4. How will this affect the average person? Here's the harsh reality. If this debt crisis escalates, ordinary people will feel it through. Higher taxes, austerity measures, cuts to social programs, job losses, and recession. In some countries, we might even see protests, political instability, and a rise in migration. Chapter 5. Can the crisis be prevented? The IMF is calling for debt restructuring programs, more international cooperation between lenders and borrowers, a new global debt relief framework for the poorest countries, reforms to curb excessive government borrowing in developed economies. But time is running out, and without swift action, the IMF warns of an unprecedented wave of defaults. Conclusion. A global debt crisis may seem distant until it hits your job, your savings, or your nation's future. The numbers are staggering, the warnings are clear, and the path forward demands global unity and fiscal responsibility. Do you think world leaders will act in time? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into stories shaping your world.